Well, welcome to this coffee break, and this time, I've got Edward with me, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about a subject that I've heard you speak about, Edward, just recently, about uncomplicated faith.
Yes.
I found it very powerful, really. So just give us a few thoughts for us, again, generally speaking, in the West.
Yes.
Just tell us your thoughts.
I think what has happened is very simple. The West has been blessed immensely with resources. Accessing knowledge, accessing skills, things have been enabled. Unfortunately, when it comes to matters of faith, we have to be very careful that we do not allow all that to come and shroud what God is looking for us. God is looking for, just like we can see in the book of Hebrews chapter number 11, God is simply saying that what is this simplified faith, or what is this uncomplicated faith? It's very simple. It is the ability to be able to believe whether we feel or we don't touch, we don't see. It's just that confidence inside. And when we look into the New Testament, and even some of the special occasions in the Old Testament, some of the things that we like recording, even when we're preaching, they are results of simple faith, uncomplicated faith. You think of the moments Elijah is performing all his miracles. Dig deep down and you see. It's uncomplicated faith. The New Testament, the life of Jesus, is all about what? Uncomplicated faith. And I think the other thing also we need to be very careful about, because you see, I said this morning, and I want to repeat very quickly, is that we've got to be careful that it's very good for us to get knowledge from theologians and people that have excelled in the knowledge of the Word of God. But any theology that comes to complicate faith is not worth following. So we have a responsibility for us to be able to keep the faith of people just like the childlike, because that's what God is looking for. Yes. And also I say, when we talk about complicated and complicated faith, it's not about the amount. It's simple. God has said it, I believe it. If God says that I am His righteous, I don't need to know the formula. I just need to embrace that simply and live it. If God says I'm His child, I don't need to know the formula. I don't want to become like Nicodemus or other people that we see trying to complicate faith. We just need to believe. And the time has come for us to begin to cry to God, even for this context. I'm talking about the West. Because Africa, the supernatural, the divine is on the increase. And it's, if you ask me, because I come from the continent, I will say, it's simple faith. We don't complicate faith. God says, jump onto the waters, we just do it. And I think these are some of the things that we need to encourage in the West, so that people can begin to see what Africa and other continents that have kept things simple keep on seeing. So days of uncomplicated faith are with us. And we really want to encourage people to just believe God, because God is waiting for a faith that, like that of a childlike, so that we can see results.
Yes. So it's a bit like it's not saying abandoning theology.
No,
it's saying making sure that the theology serves the faith, rather than add something to it.
Exactly.
So it's a different, sort of a more theology from a more global perspective, rather than just a Western perspective.
It is. Yes, we need the knowledge, because, of course, one of the things that is important is making sure that we support that faith that we have with more knowledge. Because, in fact, good theology is an advantage when we're talking about faith, because it helps me to expand the horizons of my belief. The knowledge that I have helps me, instead of, if I've got that simplified faith, to believe God for whatever, and theology comes in that helps me to have a wider knowledge. Fantastic. It helps me to believe God for greater things that are entailed in the knowledge.
Really good.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I think there's some important things for us in the West to be thinking about, particularly because we do tend to overcomplicate things. I find that very stimulating personally, just about the simplicity, and actually that makes it even more profound what we believe, just taking God at His word. So thank you, Edward, for that. So again, enjoy your coffee, something to think about.